how to use it. I don't think they'll need any.
Oh, the cleanup shell. I don't.
There used to be a box there. I have no
I thought I
idea.
had some. It's okay.
I might have some in my purse after I'm done doing my spiel. I have a spiel.
Just my glasses.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everyone. We will now call the meeting to order. Madame la Greffière.
Your Worship, all public meetings of Moncton City Council are simultaneously translated. Hearing devices are available. You have the right to address the City Council in the official language of your choice. Meetings are also simulcast in both languages on the City of Moncton's YouTube channel and can be found on our website at moncton.ca. If you're registered with the City Clerk's office prior to the agenda deadline, 7 days before the meeting, you will be given 5 minutes for your presentation. All other presentations will be given 2 minutes. You will receive a reminder when 1 minute is remaining. Please note, no presenter shall speak disrespectful of council, staff, or a member of the general public. The use of offensive or profane language will not be tolerated. Any breach of this guideline may result in the presenter being asked to leave the council chambers at the discretion of the chair. Un service d'interprétation simultanée est offert durant nos réunions. Vous avez le droit de parler dans la langue officielle de votre choix. Les casques d'écoute servent la traduction sont disponibles. Ces réunions sont diffusées en français et en anglais sur la plateforme YouTube. Les réunions sont également diffusées sur l'Internet à moncton.ca. Si vous vous êtes inscrit auprès du bureau de la greffière avant la date limite, c'est-à-dire 16 jours avant la séance, vous aurez 5 minutes pour effectuer votre présentation. Toute autre présentation du public aura droit à 2 minutes. Une cloche sonnera pour vous indiquer qu'il ne vous reste qu'une minute. S'il vous plaît, notez, aucun présentateur ne devra manquer de respect lorsqu'il parlera du Grand Conseil, d'un membre du personnel ou du grand public. Le langage blasphématoire et les propos offensants ne seront pas tolérés. Le président ou la présidente pourra demander à tout présentateur qui enfreint cette directive de quitter la salle du Conseil.
Merci, Madame la Greffière. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we will be removing item 7.2, public hearing zoning bylaw amendments 1430, 1450 Elmwood Drive. The reason is we've received some information late this afternoon with respect to the zoning. In light of this, it would be prudent to pull the item from the agenda to give administration proper time to review the information and prepare any possible response. As such, the public hearing should be postponed to May 20th. We would like to remind council, as with any rezoning matter, that this is a quasi-judicial process and to maintain procedural fairness. If individual councilors are contacted by the applicant, proponent of the project, or objectors, kindly encourage them to attend the hearing and remain neutral. The proper venue to hear these positions is the hearing, during which council will render their decision at the end of the process.
Merci, Madame la Greffière. So we do have a change to the agenda. Could I have a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Conseillère Leblanc and Conseiller Légère. So a show of hands. Any questions? No? A show of hands. All those in favor? C'est beau, unanime. Merci. Madame la Greffière.
Next is conflict of interest, les déclarations des conflits d'intérêts.
Est-ce qu'il y a des conflits d'intérêts? Non. Donc, on peut procéder.
Next would be the adoption of minutes, les adoptions des procès-verbaux. Aujourd'hui, la séance ordinaire publique du 3 septembre 2024, du 20 janvier 2025 et du 2 février 2025.
Donc, est-ce que je peux avoir quelqu'un pour proposer et appuyer la motion? Donc, le conseiller Légère et le conseiller Kingston. Any questions? Donc, all those in favor, manual show of hands, please. Donc, motion carried unanimously. Merci.
There are no consent agenda, des questions soumises à l'approbation du Conseil. Ils n'ont pas ce soir. On a trois présentations publiques. The first is a presentation. Moncton, please forgive me if I don't say this right. Koyo Koshin Kenbo-ke karate team, and Deputy Mayor Thériault is going to read and present you with a certificate.
Merci, Madame la greffière. Bienvenue, Monsieur Cormier. Bienvenue à votre équipe. It's really a pleasure to see everyone. You were in Costa Rica. You won 17 trophies in martial arts, so that's really worth being recognized this evening. So if you can come forward, venez, on va vous présenter un certificat.
Claire. Perfect. Can everybody see me? That means if you see me, I see you. All right. Good. Very good.
Except for the ones in the back.
All right.
Bougez pas.
Oh, they know.
Way to go.
The next presentation is a presentation by Mortis Henry, Veterans in Focus. Monsieur Henry.
I think I have it right. Okay, I just hit the screen.
That's all you have to do is just press the button.
The button, what button? Which button?
You can move it up if
Oh, I
you
can do
like.
that?
You can move it up.
Oh, no, it's okay. How do I change the
The
slide?
slide,
Yeah.
I think if you just
Okay, all right.
press the.
Bonsoir,
Right here,
Maurice.
right here, okay.
Bonsoir.
Sorry, merci, sorry, I don't, 5 minutes and me don't go very well. So, I just want to say merci pour l'occasion de vous parler aujourd'hui d'un projet. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak about a project that's very dear to my heart, and it's called Veterans in Focus. It is a Cameras for Healing presentation or initiative, and I would like to introduce Roselba, who's a teacher from Mackenzie College, and Stacy, who's a student at Mackenzie College, and I've partnered with the college to bring young students to meet and photograph, interview, and document veterans. We are starting right now, because of time is of the essence, with veterans from World War II. We just photographed 3 veterans. I'll show you a few. And it's a beautiful project. I think it's an important project, and it's going to be a legacy project. So it's one of my biggest projects, for those of you who know my projects with Cameras for Healing, and I'm very proud of it. So I'm going to just, hopefully this works. The vision of the project is every veteran has a story. We help them share it with dignity, creativity, and truth. This is a gentleman that we photographed, Stacy and I, just 2 weeks ago, 102-year-old Frederick Hawthorne, World War II veteran in the Army, and he was part of the liberation of Holland, which is now Netherlands, back in the day. And the stories that he tells us and shares with us is really something very special. The purpose of the project is to honor and document the lives of veterans, to foster understanding through storytelling and visual arts, to build bridges between generations, which is the one major key of the project, and to promote healing through creative expression. The approach, we're pairing young photographers with veterans, training sessions on respectful storytelling, one-on-one interviews and portrait sessions, and public exhibits at the final work. I'm going fast here. So the impact of connection. When youth and veterans unite, personal growth, empathy, pride, and respect thrive. And that's the foundation of Cameras for Healing, is to have people thrive. Here is an amazing woman, Gladys Constable, 105 years old. We photographed her a few months ago, last month, just a few weeks ago. And she said to us, she says, I never imagined my story would matter to someone so young. And her story is amazing, of a woman during the war. Doing the things that she did. She used to be the one that took care of calculating all the logistics, times, distance, flight, weight for bombers to go bomb Germany so they could come back home safe. It's quite a story, and she's 105, and she really opened up to us and told us everything. So you can see a picture of her when she was young and today. And here's Stacy right here, and myself after we finished the shoot. But the artistic process is telling stories through imagery, capturing the essence of lives lived, emphasis on respect, vulnerability, and of course trust. And students are learning how to document photographically. The end exhibit will be, we're sponsored by l'Hôtel Beau Séjour, Delta Hotel, and they're going to convert the lobby into a gallery to host this project that we want to launch November 1st, Remembrance Month. And they're going to do a big reception around it. You're all going to be invited. So we're very excited about the project, and of course to get involved, volunteer support, we're looking for that. It's a very costly and intense project, and we're very proud to be part of it. And if there's any questions for Mackenzie College, the student or the teacher, we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you all. Really appreciate this.
Merci infiniment, Maurice. C'est superbe. It's a beautiful legacy.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. Thank you.
Merci.
Conseiller Légère. Conseiller Légère.
Ah, merci. Merci, Madame la Ministre. Merci, Maurice. Very timely, and thanks for doing this. I'm wondering if you've drawn the attention of Veteran Affairs, and hopefully if you have not, then I hope you will now, because it really is very special. In particular, the photographs, but the stories that go with it, and making that connection. So hopefully you do, and I'm sure that Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor would be very interested in
She already is.
moving that forward. So yeah. Anyway, this is great initiative with Mackenzie College, and wish you the best in terms of looking forward to the photographs. And is your intention too to create a storybook or something along that line?
That's where, yes. Of course, there's going to be an exhibit. Each photograph will be, at the end, donated back to the veteran and or the veteran's residence, where we are concentrating on the older ones right now. And yes, the book.
And could there be a place for this in our museum, and perhaps a partnership with Resurgo?
I would love to talk
So-
to you about that,
So,
for sure.
so I would say maybe to the city manager that maybe something could be developed, because I
would
think
be-
it is the mandate to maintain those memories and continue those connections, and I think that would be a really good
And what we're
connection.
planning also is, we have a transcriber and a translator and all that stuff. And what we want to do, or the goal, is every photograph, when people look at it, there's going to be a QR code next to it. So when you hit the QR code on your phone, you're looking at the picture, you will hear the story of the person, both in French and English.
Excellent. Anyway, congratulations and great partnership with Mackenzie College, and look forward to the results at the end.
Thank you.
Merci.
Merci encore. Merci, conseiller Jean. No other questions, Madame Lagrafière?
The next presentation, c'est une présentation du transport public à Moncton, résultat du sondage, Université de Moncton. On a ici aujourd'hui Rida Benhima et Marc Leblanc.
Bonsoir, Madame la mairesse,
Ben, bonsoir à vous.
conseillère, conseiller, councillors. I'm here this evening with a colleague, Rida Benhami, agent de liaison en logement et transport hors campus de l'Université de Moncton. Alors, ce soir, il va nous présenter un sondage qui a été fait au sujet de transport en commun, Kodiak Transpo. Rida.
Ok. Merci, Marc. Oups, je vais mettre ici. Merci de nous avoir permis de faire la présentation aujourd'hui. Je vais parler en français. En plus de logement hors campus, je travaille aussi sur le dossier de transport en commun pour faciliter justement le transport à nos étudiants et à notre personnel, et pour justement contribuer à réduire pour contribuer à la lutte contre les changements climatiques et à la qualité de l'air. Vu que l'université est engagée sur un plan d'ici 2040, elle vise la carboneutralité. Justement, saviez-vous que presque 3 personnes entre 4 n'utilisent pas le transport public? Voilà. Dans un contexte d'une ville comme Moncton, qui voit un des plus grands taux de croissance au niveau du Canada, la composante de transport public est une composante essentielle qui doit accompagner cette croissance, tout en regardant les enjeux majeurs comme environnemental, social et économique que l'université tient à cœur, tout en gardant bien sûr un œil sur un focus sur l'attractivité, la fiabilité et la sécurité du transport. Voilà. Là, dans ces 3 diapos qui viennent, je partagerai avec vous des informations qui sont sorties de notre sondage et que notre équipe a jugé important de les partager. La première, c'est ce graphe-là qui montre qu'il y a seulement 32% de la population universitaire qui utilisent le transport public. Donc, il y a un manque à gagner énorme de 68% qu'on peut ramener pour faire valoriser le transport. Le deuxième... chez moi, c'est différent, mais bon. En fait, le petit camembert qu'on voit à droite, c'est juste la représentation des 36% qui sont verts, la partie verte du grand camembert, juste l'explication. Mais dans ce diagramme, ce que je veux dire, c'est plus de 60% des gens ont préféré répondre sur les défis qu'ils rencontrent pour prendre les bus à Moncton. Ils préfèrent se déplacer en voiture et à pied ou à vélo. Mais ceux qui ont sorti des verbatims, ils ont justement indiqué que les horaires ne leur conviennent pas, le trajet est très long, le service n'est pas fiable ou il est dispendieux. Et il y a 7% de plus de reste où il y a beaucoup de verbatims. Je peux vous en citer quelques-unes. Il y en a qui ont dit des déplacements plus rapides et fréquents entre ma maison et l'université. J'adorerais, je serais fier de prendre le bus, mais je suis en faveur du transport. Je suis en faveur du transport en commun. Un autre, il a avancé que non, je trouve cela plus sécuritaire. Je trouve cela plus sécuritaire d'utiliser ma voiture. Un autre, il dit j'habite en dehors du trajet d'autobus. Quelqu'un d'autre avance que j'habite à quelques minutes de campus. Les trajets sont dysfonctionnels, une grosse boucle qui passe en un seul sens. D'autres disent arrêt de bus trop loin de ma maison. Donc, c'est grosso modo quelques verbatims qu'ils ont exprimé les usagers et les usagères du bus. Et dans ce dernier diapo de statistiques, il indique le taux d'insatisfaction des usagers de transport public par rapport au temps d'attente au niveau des arrêts de bus. Et que si vous remarquez là, c'est à peu près 70% qui ne sont pas satisfaits. En résumé, c'est les 5 points qui sont ressortis dans ce sondage pour exprimer l'insatisfaction des usagers du transport. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce qu'il y a des questions, conseiller Bourgeois?
Merci beaucoup, Madame la maire. Merci pour votre présentation, Marc. J'ai une question. Je vais de mémoire. Il y a 10 ans, à peu près, on avait administré un sondage auprès de la population étudiante de l'Université de Moncton, du campus de Moncton, à savoir si les étudiants étaient prêts à ajouter, je ne m'en souviens pas le montant, peut-être 20 $ par année, pour avoir peut-être plus une passe pour les 8 mois de scolarité. Et je pense que ça avait même été une question quasiment référendaire sur le campus, et on avait rejeté cette demande-là. On ne voulait pas en entendre parler. Puis à l'époque, on soupçonnait que la raison principale, il n'y a pas d'explication, non? Mais c'était qu'à peu près la moitié des étudiants et étudiantes avaient une voiture. Je vois que c'est à peu près encore la même chose. Il y a 50% ou à peu près 48-49% des étudiants et étudiantes qui ont des voitures. Je suis vieux. Lorsque moi j'allais à l'université de Moncton, très peu d'étudiants avaient des voitures. Ça fait. Est-ce que cette idée-là, cette possibilité-là d'avoir une carte annuelle, 8 mois, peu importe, payée par l'ensemble des étudiants pour augmenter la fréquence des trajets qui passeraient proche de l'Université de Moncton et qui aboutiraient là d'une façon ou d'une autre. Est-ce que ça a été considéré dans votre sondage?
Oui, tout à fait. En fait, cette question m'a été effectivement posée pendant le sondage, avant la conception du sondage. Et la simple raison qui a fait que les étudiants n'ont pas accepté, c'est parce que la majorité habitait dans des zones qui n'étaient pas desservies par des arrêts de bus. Et ils étaient obligés d'avoir des voitures. C'est pour ça que ce pourcentage augmente. Et après, il y a aussi le côté, comme j'ai dit tout à l'heure, il y a certains verbatim qui ont exprimé qu'ils trouvent que c'est dispendieux, le prix de bus. Pour des étudiants, ça pèse, l'abonnement mensuel, c'est 58 $ actuellement pour les étudiants, et ils le trouvent assez cher. Et si ça coûte plus que ce qu'il coûte le parking à l'université, ils vont toujours préférer être indépendants avec leur voiture que de prendre le bus. C'est ce qui se passe.
Oh, moi, j'aimerais d'avoir une copie. Je ne sais pas si vous avez un rapport écrit. Je siège avec conseiller Richard et conseiller Butler au comité de gouvernance des 3 municipalités par rapport au transport en commun. Et on explore toujours des options, puis c'est toujours le débat entre la poule et l'œuf. Est-ce qu'on retrace les trajets, puis là, les étudiants habitent là, ils déménagent à une autre place après 2 ans, 3 ans, d'offrir un trajet qui comblerait tous les besoins en investissant combien d'argent, en souhaitant que là, l'augmentation de la fréquence, ça fait... Mais si on avait la réflexion, on pourrait aborder cette discussion-là au comité.
Oui, oui, bien sûr. J'ai un rapport qu'on peut bien sûr partager avec les services concernés. On est disponible pour ça, bien sûr.
Parfait.
Ouais. OK.
Daniel.bourgeois@moncton.ca.
Je noterai, bien sûr. Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Madame le maire.
Merci, conseiller Bourgeois, conseiller Richard.
Merci, Madame la maire. Merci, Rida, pour la présentation.
Désolé. Oui,
Oui, merci pour la présentation.
OK, merci.
Il y a deux lignes qui passent direct sur le campus, la ligne 61 et la ligne 50. Y en a-t-il une des deux qui est pire? Y en a-t-il une qui est meilleure?
J'ai des statistiques sur ça, je les ai pas pris
Non,
par
c'est
cœur,
bien.
désolé.
Ouais.
Mais il y a aussi même la ligne 16 aussi qui passe, en plus de l'autre côté, en fait, du côté de McLaughlin et
McLaughlin,
je
oui.
pense.
Oui.
Et ils sont bien. Ceux-là, ils desservent pas mal d'étudiants qui habitent dans la zone de Sunny Bay Nord. Et,
Martin, oui.
mais il y en a d'autres qui sont sur le nord de Moncton. Comme vous avez indiqué, la ligne 50, c'est comme c'est un bus qui fait une boucle. Pour venir, par exemple, du nord vers ici, c'est peut-être rapide, mais pour retourner chez eux, ça prend plus de 50 minutes.
So, si tu pourrais nous donner plus d'informations, comme même si tu ne l'as pas aujourd'hui,
Ouais.
tu pourrais nous revenir avec d'autres informations. C'est ça, je questionnais quelle des deux lignes qui était à pire. Puis qu'est-ce que les heures qui manquent?
Les heures, c'est surtout, chez nous, on a les cours qui restent jusqu'à après 21 heures le soir, alors que le dernier bus passe avant le 21 heures. Et ces étudiants-là, ils sont sans transport public, surtout ceux qui n'ont pas de voiture, bien sûr,
OK.
individuelle.
So, j'ai cette question-là pour toi, que tu peux revenir avec des informations. Tu sais.
Ouais.
J'ai vu que Marc...
Oui, on est là pour ça, bien sûr.
Ça avance la tête, oui.
Ouais.
Puis, s'il y a des destinations qui sont plus fréquentées que d'autres, tu sais, des régions qui sont pas assez desservies, toute cette information-là, c'est qu'on pourrait tout avoir ça, puis...
Sincèrement, le
ça peut être
sondage...
promesse, mais on pourrait peut-être au moins
Ouais. Ouais.
essayer.
Oui, en fait, les étudiants, ils vont chercher là où le loyer coûte moins cher. Et c'est partout. Ça peut être Dieppe, ça peut être Riverview, ça peut
Ouais.
être Moncton. Et ils sont dispersés. Il n'y a pas une zone... Il y a une zone qui est condensée d'étudiants qui est aux alentours de l'université, mais qui vont venir à pied aussi. Mais sinon, ouais, c'est partout. Il faut desservir toutes les zones. Mais je pense entre l'université et le Georges Dumont qui est à côté, il n'y a que même la population, il n'y a pas que la population universitaire.
Oui.
Il y a la grande population aussi qui a cette nécessité de venir jusqu'à cet endroit pour soit l'hôpital, soit chez nous.
Ensuite, tu as mentionné, je pense que tu as mentionné le tarif par mois mensuel, c'est
58 $.
58. So, quand on pourra avoir plus d'informations de toi, moi, je vais te demander aussi une question parce qu'il y a différents prix sur le site. Puis, un tarif réduit pour laisser passer employeur, si tu es étudiant, c'est 46 $ par mois. Il y a peut-être des raisons qu'on ne peut pas l'utiliser, celui-là. Ben, au moins, on pourrait peut-être avoir une clarification, voir ce qu'on peut... au lieu de...
J'ai pas bien compris.
Sur le site web du Kodiak Transport,
Oui?
tous les tarifs sont là. Puis, il y a un des tarifs que, pour un employeur, si tu as un étudiant à temps plein, c'est comme 10 $ de moins cher par mois.
Ah, OK.
Puis, ça, c'est peut-être des raisons qu'on ne peut pas l'utiliser, peut-être qu'on peut. En tout cas, ça serait de quoi
Ça,
regarder.
c'est parmi les défis aussi, c'est l'information et la communication
Oui.
qu'on n'arrive pas à avoir. Cette information, je viens de l'apprendre chez vous.
Oui, ben,
Je
on
ne connaissais
va
pas
avoir
que
la
même les
conversation.
étudiants, tous disent on paye 58 $ pour tarif étudiant, alors que plein de tarifs, c'est 76 ou 78, je ne me rappelle plus du chiffre exact. Mais ouais, c'est...
En tout cas, est-ce qu'on peut avoir la conversation? Tu sais?
Bien sûr, on
On
est
peut
ouvert,
toujours essayer.
c'est sûr.
Et moi, comme le conseiller bourgeois, c'est paul.richard
OK.
à moncton.ca.
Ouais,
Merci.
de rien.
Merci, conseiller Richard. Il n'y a pas d'autres questions. Merci, Marc, et merci à vous d'être venus ce soir. Très apprécié. Merci. Madame la greffière.
The next items are administration presentations, exposé de l'administration. There are two this evening. First up is Senior Programming Review Update with Aloma Jardine and Ellen Jeffries.
Bonsoir Aloma et Ellen. Bienvenue.
Bonsoir. Merci. We really appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you in a public forum. I just started. So in November, Council created a new role, a Community Development Officer for seniors and for youth. And around the same time, Council asked staff to learn more about Moncton Seniors' programming needs and wants with respect to recreation. So we decided at the time to take the opportunity to do a seniors-focused public engagement exercise. And the goals were to understand what's currently available, to identify any gaps in services and programming, and then to identify opportunities where the city could have an impact and improve access to age-friendly recreation. And we had 3 main activities on the slide there. So direct consultations with groups that provide recreation activities in Moncton, in-person engagement sessions, and as well an online survey. Les consultations avec les parties intéressées étaient très productives et une partie importante de cet exercice. On a parlé directement avec 14 différents groupes, ce qui a permis au personnel dans le bureau des loisirs de créer des liens avec ces organisations. Ce qu'on a trouvé, c'est qu'en fait, il existe déjà plein de programmations pour les aînés à Moncton, mais les groupes qui offrent ces programmations ont des défis communs. Par exemple, ils ont souvent des difficultés à trouver des locaux appropriés. Ils se fient souvent sur la bouche à oreille pour se promouvoir et ils ont aussi des défis de financement, de personnel et des bénévoles et des fois avec l'accessibilité et la transportation. And then we held 7 in-person sessions across the city, and we had more than 500 people come to those, which we were super pleased with. The main goal of those events was to gather information through the survey, which I'll talk about in a minute. And we did have some engagement activities at the events as well and collected some data, but the goal of those activities was really to get people chatting and to find out information from them. What we heard through the in-person sessions was there is a great need for better promotion of existing activities, that there's a need, that there was some support for a dedicated space for seniors. We heard people ask for more programming in the North End, a need for digital literacy classes, and a need for pickleball facilities. Bon, pour ce qui est du sondage, on avait 460 répondants et la page du projet sur la plateforme Let's Chat Jason Moncton a été consultée plus de 2700 fois. Plus de la moitié des répondants étaient entre les âges de 65 et 74. Les résultats nous disent moins alors sur les aînés qui sont plus jeunes et ceux qui sont plus âgés. Mais en fait, c'est possible qu'on a entendu plus de ce groupe-là parce qu'ils sont ceux qui sont à la recherche de la programmation pour les aînés. Par exemple, on a souvent entendu de ceux qui étaient en dessous de 65 ans qui ne se considéraient pas vraiment des aînés encore. Alors, ça, c'est des questions qu'on peut explorer à l'avenir. A good section of the survey was about current activities, what people did now, and activities that they'd like to participate in. So this shows the top 10 most popular activities, and 4 of the 5 are physical or fitness activities. As you can see, walking was far and away number 1, and then number 2 and 3 were fitness and gardening, and then after that, arts and crafts and yoga rounding out the top 5. Several respondents added comments as well, noting that they're currently participating in activities offered at the YMCA's, the Legion, Danse Encore, and at the Crossman Community Center, K Arena. And we also asked people what activities they'd like to participate in, maybe that they aren't participating in now. And what we found is there's actually a pretty good match between what they said they're already doing and what they said they would like to do. So 8 of those top 10 are actually the same, which is a really positive thing because it indicates that the right mix of stuff is out there, just maybe we need more of some of them. And there are 2 additions to this list that may offer some opportunities for new programming, dance and aqua fitness, because not very many people said they were participating in that right now, but a lot of people said that they would like to. Seulement 17% des répondants ont dit qu'ils cherchent des activités expressément destinées aux aînés. Un tiers a dit qu'ils choisissent leurs activités par intérêt et un demi a dit les deux. Alors, cette citation, c'était un bon résumé de ce qu'on a entendu de plusieurs personnes qui a dit « Je n'ai pas besoin de me réunir avec d'autres personnes âgées pour participer à des activités pourvu qu'elles soient adaptées aux aînés. » So, making sure that they're senior friendly. Le matin était le temps préféré pour les activités. 45% des répondants choisissent le matin. 25% ont dit qu'ils préféraient l'après-midi et seulement 5% voulaient les activités le soir. Et la plupart, soit 64%, ont dit qu'ils aimaient plus participer aux activités pendant la semaine au lieu qu'aux fins de semaine. Mais on a aussi entendu que les aînés qui sont plus jeunes ou qui travaillent encore nous ont dit qu'ils trouvent difficile de participer dans les activités quand elles se passent uniquement pendant les heures de travail. For transportation, most respondents were still using their own vehicles, 91%, which is huge. But we did also hear a lot of feedback from people who said, between the survey and at the sessions, that either they don't travel as much or they don't like to travel as far and they don't like to travel after dark. So that is a consideration for sure. And only 7% said that they were using public transit. So particularly, we're listening about students just now. The seniors apparently also are not using public transit. So that's something that we'd like to explore a little further. More than half said that they currently travel 15 minutes or less to get to activities, and they are willing to travel a little further, but it really does top out around that 15 to 20 minute mark, and probably I would say 15 minutes is the sweet spot. And keeping in mind, this is a group that has access to their own vehicles. On a aussi demandé aux répondants s'ils préféraient avoir toutes leurs activités dans la même place ou est-ce qu'ils préféraient plusieurs emplacements. On a eu des opinions pas mal diverses. 38% nous ont dit un emplacement, 25% ont dit plusieurs et 37% n'avaient aucune préférence. D'un côté, on avait des personnes qui voulaient un emplacement dédié aux aînés et de l'autre, des personnes qui disaient qu'elles ne voulaient pas être mises à part. Pour les coûts, la plupart des répondants, 85%, ont dit qu'ils seraient prêts à payer pour les activités. Ils ont aussi démontré une préférence pour payer les frais par activité au lieu des frais annuels d'abonnement. Et ils ont noté que c'était important de garder les coûts aussi bas que possible. Not knowing where or when activities are offered was something we heard over and over and over and again. So it wasn't necessarily that the activities didn't exist, it's that people couldn't find them. People also mentioned the need for French language and bilingual programming. We heard that there are wait lists for the more popular activities, and costs and location were also mentioned as barriers. And for staying informed, currently word of mouth is the most popular way respondents are getting information, with 2/3 of them getting their information this way. About 41% said they were using Facebook, 27% said they got information from the City of Moncton website, and the thing that was more concerning was that about a quarter said that they're not getting any information at all. And if you look at the second graph, when we asked them how they would like to receive information, 65% said that they would like to come to the City of Moncton website, and 54% said Facebook. A number also noted that they would like to receive information via email or mailouts. So that kind of sums up the engagement results altogether. And we posted a summary of those results on the letschatmoncton.ca and the jasonmoncton.ca websites, so everyone can kind of dive into those on their own time. And I'd like to turn over to Ellen now to talk about some of the things that we've done with this information so far.
Merci Aloma. Je m'appelle Ellen Jeffries et je suis l'agent de développement communautaire pour les aînés et les jeunes avec le service des loisirs avec la ville de Moncton. So this engagement exercise was a great opportunity to connect with organizations who are delivering incredible programming in our community. It also gave me the opportunity to meet with residents to learn more about the activities in which they would like to participate and the barriers that are preventing them from doing so. C'était une excellente façon de commencer mes premières semaines dans ce poste. I'm going to highlight some of the ways we are using the valuable information gathered as part of this engagement to inform the way we deliver and promote recreational programming for seniors in Moncton. So we heard loud and clear that we need to do a better job promoting existing programming available in the city. It's certainly easy to feel like there's nothing to do and nothing going on when there's not an easy place to go to find out and stay in the loop. So for that reason, we have expanded the webpage on the city's website, moncton.ca/seniors, to become a hub of recreational information for seniors in Moncton. So there you can find details about programming offered by the City of Moncton, its recreational partners, maps of parks and trails, information on festivals and events, public transit, and other resources. We have also worked to brand and improve the accessibility of our seniors newsletter. An overview of spring and summer programming will be sent out on May 20th. So those interested in receiving the newsletter can find a link to sign up at moncton.ca/seniors. And the newsletters will also be available there for download. Dans quelques semaines, nous lancerons un plan de marketing diversifié pour promouvoir les activités et les événements qui se dérouleront tout au long du mois de juin dans le cadre du mois des aînés. Promotions will include posters distributed throughout the city, radio and newspaper ads, printable calendar and detailed guide available on our website and also sent out to partners, along with social media posts to help spread the word about the many events and activities taking place during June, during Seniors Month. This engagement exercise also allowed me to make new connections in the community. Last month, I had the opportunity to present to the Young at Heart Club and to the CN Pensioners Association, both groups that I met during our in-person sessions, so that was great. This month, I look forward to presenting to the Tantramar Seniors College and to Nursing Homes Without Walls. So I am eager to continue acting as a connector between residents looking to access recreational programming and bringing them into the loop about all of the many things they can get involved with. So I'd also like to highlight some of the programming that we have developed and partnered to offer that has been directly informed by this public engagement exercise. So as I mentioned, June is Seniors Month, and we will be celebrating all month long. It has provided a wonderful opportunity to promote both our ongoing programming and to offer some of those activities and events that survey respondents said they were looking for. All of the activities promoted as part of Seniors Month will be free of charge or $3 or less. Certaines des activités prévues incluent des marches guidées pour les aînés chaque lundi matin pendant le mois de juin à 10 heures dans plusieurs des parcs en ville, et il y aura aussi une occasion pour découvrir la piste de marche du stade Croix-Bleue-Médavie avec l'équipe de loisirs le 6 juin à 9 heures. Moncton Cares will also offer free multicultural dance fitness classes every Thursday evening in June at 6 p.m. in Centennial Park. There will be open houses offered at the Centennial Lawn Bowling Club. That one will be June 7th from 12 to 4 p.m. And also an open house at the Tankville School on June 17th from 10 a.m. to noon. There will also be a free presentation by Resurgo Place on the social history of the Petitcodiac River that will be offered at the Lutz Mountain Heritage Museum June 27th at 10 a.m. That bilingual presentation will be followed by questions, coffee and tea, and some time for socializing. So this is just a sneak peek of some of what we have planned this June. There are many activities and events taking place. So again, I encourage everybody to check out moncton.ca/seniors. But we will continue to implement what we heard well beyond Seniors Month. Cet été, nous organiserons des cours de danse et de remise en forme gratuits pour les aînés dans le parc riverain. Ces cours bilingues seront proposés en partenariat avec Danse Encore et se dérouleront les mardis matins à 9 h du 8 juillet au 19 août. Additionally, the city's outdoor pools will open for the season on June 21st, and there will be programming for older adults offered all summer long. Lane and senior swims will be available at Centennial Pool every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings for $3, and aqua fitness classes will be offered at the East End Pool every Tuesday for just $2. So I just wanted to take this time to say I'm incredibly grateful to the residents who took the time to participate in the study. We look forward to continuing to offer social events and arts and cultural opportunities, chances to stay fit and engaged. So I hope this will be just the first of many public engagements we have the opportunity to do to continue improving our service delivery to seniors in Moncton. Thank you. Merci.
Merci, Ellen. Question, conseiller Bourgeois.
Merci beaucoup, Madame la maire. Merci, Aloma et Ellen. Je tiens d'abord à faire un commentaire que je siège au comité sur les aînés et nous avons été chanceux d'avoir une personne de la trempe de Ellen embauchée comme coordonnatrice, agent de développement communautaire. C'est une go-getter. Puis j'ai l'impression que les résultats vont suivre assez vite. J'essaie d'imaginer que cet engagement-là, ce sondage-là, toutes ces démarches-là pour tâter le pouls de nos aînés va éventuellement produire un plan des 3, 4, 5 prochaines années, ou est-ce que c'est tout simplement pour vérifier que les activités qu'on a présentement sont les bonnes, puis on va un petit peu faire un petit peu de modifications mineures? Qu'est-ce que l'intention?
Je pense pour commencer, ça c'est vraiment notre première étape. Alors, comme j'ai dit, le mois des années donne une occasion pour voir si ces activités sont vraiment ce que les personnes veulent faire, si on veut peut-être changer un petit peu. Alors, je pense qu'on va essayer plusieurs choses pendant la prochaine année peut-être, mais j'espère qu'on va continuer à faire des sondages et les occasions pour engagement public, pour qu'on puisse savoir si c'est vraiment, si on hit the mark ou non.
OK, mais on n'a pas vraiment l'intention d'avoir comme une sorte de gros plan de...
Pas à ce moment, mais ça se peut que ça vienne.
OK. Un des items qui n'est pas sorti du sondage et que moi j'entends très souvent de la part des aînés, c'est la sécurité publique. Soit leur propre maison, il y a eu des vols par infraction, des choses comme ça, soit ils ont peur d'aller prendre les marches le soir, ils ont peur de venir au centre-ville, etc. Est-ce que ça a été posé comme question, puis quelles a été les réponses?
Pas exactement posé comme question, où c'était un peu plus au sujet des activités récréationnelles, mais on a donné l'occasion pour juste laisser les commentaires généraux et on a entendu de plusieurs personnes, j'aimerais explorer nos pistes et nos sentiers, mais je ne sens pas à l'aise ou je serais plus confortable si je sortais en groupe. Alors pour ça, on a décidé de faire plusieurs sorties avec les marches guidées pour que les personnes puissent découvrir nos édifices, nos sentiers, nos parcs.
OK, parfait. Ça, c'est très bien à entendre. Il y a juste une question par rapport au sondage, puis je ne sais pas si tu peux le reproduire. C'est les deux tableaux qui comparent les genres d'activités. Puis moi, je vois la grande différence, puis peut-être que je me trompe, c'est ma question à toi, là. Ce que j'appelle un gap analysis entre ce qu'ils font puis ce qu'ils aimeraient faire, puis il y a des activités comme sociales, éducationnelles, qui n'est pas très... J'essaie de m'en souvenir que si le diagramme était là, est-ce qu'on peut le reproduire?
Je ne sais pas si je suis capable, mais... Oui, mon papier.
Je sais pas, Diane, c'est... Sinon, ils sont là. Je dirais que c'est peut-être numéro... Ouf, je ne l'ai pas en 1 à 10. Dans ce...
Est-ce
Oh oui!
qu'on peut reculer?
C'est à peu près le milieu là, du diaporama. Là.
Alors...
2 bar graphs, là. Ouais.
Alors,
avant,
ça,
OK.
c'est les activités actuelles.
OK, exact. Puis présentement, comme je garde cours de formation, là, educational classes, je garde senior socials, activities socials, c'est parmi celles qui font pas beaucoup présentement.
Il y avait une liste beaucoup plus. Alors, ça, c'est celles qui étaient les plus populaires. Mais comme tu vois ici, beaucoup plus de personnes ont indiqué qu'ils sont intéressés en beaucoup de ces...
Exact. Alors, ma question, c'est surtout ces 3 choses-là, là. Seniors, socials, educational classes, puis speaker series, qui est très peu assisté présentement, peut-être sur la grande liste, ça tombe dans le milieu, mais qui voudrait beaucoup plus. Est-ce que vous pouvez m'expliquer pourquoi il y a si tant une grande différence entre ce que les gens font et ce qu'ils aimeraient faire? C'est juste parce qu'il n'y a pas de conférences ou de socials ou de
Je pense peut-être
educational classes disponibles?
peut-être les personnes qui sont déjà impliquées avec les groupes comme Rotary ou Probus, et ils ont l'occasion d'aller à les présentations et les choses comme ça. Mais on entend souvent d'autres personnes, je ne fais pas partie d'un groupe comme ça. Comment est-ce que je peux être capable de en profiter de ces types de présentations? Alors, comme j'ai mentionné, on va faire une présentation avec la place Ressourgo. On va faire les activités sociales au Crosman, le centre communautaire Crosman, pendant les mois des années. Et on essaie d'ajouter le temps avant et après nos sorties pour un peu de temps social aussi.
Alors, vous allez essayer d'organiser des choses avec des groupes pour
Oui,
parler de même
un
pour
peu les
combler
deux.
ces 3 choses-là? Là?
On
OK.
travaille avec Nature Moncton et plusieurs d'autres groupes, le Greater Moncton Walking Club et plusieurs organismes. Alors, certaines, on va organiser nous-mêmes et d'autres, on travaille avec nos partenaires.
Okay. And my final comment or question is, we have a seniors committee, we have a youth committee, we have a social inclusion committee. We have a lot of people from the city who give us feedback, and there's an intersection between some of these plans and activities. So I just assume, can you explain to the council how we are interlinked with these groups and make sure that we don't duplicate, but also we complement each other?
Well, luckily, my office is located next to Vince Marola, so we get to chat often about the types of things he's working on and I'm working on. So, for example, at the moment, I'm working on Intergenerational Day, which takes place on June 1st. So I went over to talk to Vince because I know the Social Inclusion Committee has interest in a working group on intergenerational initiatives. So trying to make sure that we're collaborating and not working against each other and that we're taking in each other's goals into mind. So he's been a great asset for us on the Seniors Advisory Committee, for sure,
so
and the Youth Advisory Committee.
Between staff, you collaborate, fine, but the information goes between the different committees as well.
As much as I can, yes, yeah, for sure.
Perfect. Merci beaucoup.
De rien.
Merci, Madame la maire.
Merci, conseiller Bourgeois. Conseiller Kingston. Ah, excuse. Conseiller Kingston.
Hit the red?
Oui.
Thank you. Merci, Madame Mattis. Thank you, Ellen and Aloma. It's great to have the participation of the 500, the 2,700 on Let's Chat. I'm particularly interested in staying informed. On the pie chart, it looks like word of mouth and Facebook are almost dead even. And that's incredible because we know that seniors, we have seniors here in the room, maybe even on council, we have time, and we're not necessarily Facebooking 24/7. We'll check it at the end of the day. And I know that's the challenge of your department is to get everybody informed. Word of mouth is still very strong, and that's incredible to see in this day and age. The radio and newspaper obviously have their place there, but I think the days are gone where all local stations had the same information at the same time. That's lacking, and that's another bigger conversation regarding social media. But kudos to you and the department for engaging so many seniors. We have an active gang in the city of Moncton on the senior category, and they continue to show just how active they are and looking for more things to do. So again, it's a congratulations to you and your department. And I know the challenge of not knowing where or when is the big one, really, of people not having an idea where anything is. And we hear a lot of that in different segments of society. It doesn't have to be necessarily seniors. Could be a hockey game, what rink, what time. We get a lot of that. People aren't on the same page anymore collectively, and it's too bad. But we're getting there, and again, job well done and continued success with that. Thank you very much. Merci. Thank you, Madame Addis.
Merci, conseiller Kingston. Conseiller Butler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, or Deputy Mayor, whatever we're supposed to call you. Didn't turn green red yet. It's coming?
Yes.
It's coming. There we are. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. I was lucky enough to be able to get to one of the groups when you're talking to the seniors, and I have to say is that one of the things that they really were quite happy with, that we've appointed somebody that just has their hands just on the pulse of the seniors and the youth, which is great. And anybody that's had any interaction with you so far, Ellen, nothing but praise. So congrats to you. I would like to say also too is to your department that, you know, we were going through a rough time trying to figure out what we were going to do and how we were going to resolve this issue with seniors. And your group, with Isabel and Monica and yourself, you have taken this to a new level that there's a lot of satisfaction now. You hear the feedback, which is good, instead of, well, what we were supposed to do and what we didn't do. But now it's really forming. I would hope that the only question I would have is, follow-up to this is that I think that we should maybe have these meetings maybe once a year, every couple of years, so we keep pulse, so people don't think that we forgot about them. We pointed somebody, but we never hear back. And also maybe to get updates now and then to council in person, because I know you're doing a fantastic job. That's all I hear. That's all I hear. It's great. So it's so great. So I think a lot of feedback to us for the next little while, so we know that we're putting the money where we're supposed to, and also that the seniors are happy. And that's very important, because they were kind of feeling like they were, as much as we did, that word of mouth wasn't getting out to everybody. You know, when I spoke to them that one night that we had it up at the Lutz Mountain, they didn't know about what the Legion was doing or what Curl Moncton was doing. You know, so it was quite important, or even at the Crosman Center. So they were kind of like, at that group, they were all going to the North NY, and they didn't know where the other parts were. So it's really important, and you're doing a heck of a job, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Worship.
Merci, conseiller Butler. Merci à vous deux. Conseiller Léchère.
Merci, Madame Addis. Merci, Ellen. Merci, Aloma. And I took a look at the website, and it is really a good opportunity now to, and I congratulate you on putting that together. Some of the things that I do hear is not all the seniors are or have access to the internet. They may not feel comfortable with it. Is there any way that maybe once a year something like this could be printed in a printed form and made available? Some of them I noticed may not have a phone number. Maybe even if they had a referral phone number to your department, for example, something along that line that could be helpful in terms of just making sure that information is out there as much as possible?
It's definitely something we've discussed about putting something together that can be printed and available. In the interim, we will be sharing the documents that come out for Seniors Month with all of our partners, so they'll be able to print them and send them out to their members as well, drop some off at the library and at some of those key locations, the Crossman Community Center, et cetera. So we'll try to bridge that gap in the interim, but it's definitely something we would like to do, is have some kind of printed material.
Okay. A question that I have, I guess, in terms of the survey, familiar a little bit with surveys, but in terms of the validity, I know you have, I mean, it's impressive, there's over 500 seniors, but is it really representative in terms of the data that we're working with? And could you offer some comment on how you went about it and the types of questions that were asked? And I'm not doubting the information, but I just kind of wonder, when you have all of those conflicting messages.
So I like that question, because it's an opportunity to point out that a public engagement survey is not the same as a public opinion survey. So public opinion survey is one of those ones where they go, we're going to look at what the population is, and we're going to decide we need this many people from this group and that group, and they go out and they sort of will call on the phone or whatever until they actually fill in the things, fill in all the blanks of that group, and then they can say at the end, this information's correct 19 times out of 20 with a margin of error, et cetera, et cetera. Public engagement survey is not the same because people are self-selecting to participate. So for example, where I said half the people that participated were actually in one age group. It wasn't even all the way around. So those are things that we keep in mind as we're looking through. So we look at these activities and we know that's what people were asking for, but really like half of the people that were asking for them were in this particular age group, and maybe we don't have as good an idea of the rest of it. The flip side of that is that the quality of the information that we do get is quite good because the people that are giving us information really care about the topic. Whereas when you do a random survey, sometimes you're getting someone, they're trying to cook their supper and they don't really care, but they may not answer your questions anyway. These folks that are participating in the survey really, really care about what the answers are. And so you do need to keep into account that it is only a snapshot of who answered the survey and not necessarily of all seniors across the whole community. But there still gives us some really good insight into what people are thinking. So I think we probably could have talked to 20,000 people, and they probably all still would have told us we can't find information. Like that's something that's going to still be true of a greater number of people.
Okay, no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate the fact that it has to be ongoing, at least, once or twice a year, and you take those opportunities to get feedback. In terms of the locations that you cited, there were 7 locations, but did you not also do the Legion?
We consulted with the Legion directly, but we tried to have a mix of stops in each ward. So we didn't want to go to one ward too many times, I guess, or we wanted to have a reflection of around the city. So I think where we had one at City Hall and then the Kodiak, Cafe Kodiak, we felt that area had kind of been, but we did reach out to the Legion directly and shared the survey with them as well.
I guess I wonder only because we know we have, I think, close to 500 seniors at the Legion. And the clientele, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the individuals, we have people in different age groups, we have different society groups, and I felt a little bit disappointed that you wouldn't have gone to the Legion, in particular because of the fact that they were the ones that stepped up the first when we were going through this whole transition of what we were going to do. And so perhaps, and they may have re-emphasized again, and you might have had over 1,000 responses as opposed to the 500. So I guess I would challenge you to do that because I think it's important. And the only reason I questioned it is because you went twice to, and I'm not being critical, but you went twice to a cafe where could have gone once to the Legion. And I think in fairness, just to have that representation. I do find it interesting, your point though, where certain demographic may be the one that is the most vocal, and that has really been the question in terms of that we've been deliberating as to what would and maybe it is an intergenerational center look like when you hear comments about, well, I don't need to be with a whole bunch of seniors and maybe it is that connotation of that senior, right? People don't feel senior. It's an age, but it doesn't go beyond that for all of us. So that would be sort of that comment. I would hope that this continues. I do like the website. The more information we can get out there, the criticism will always be that we don't necessarily know how to reach everybody anymore. And so there's not one way, but I appreciate the openness and certainly in terms of the ability to learn from. All of us need to learn from this. And one last piece, was there any thought of or comments related to youth and having young people involved with seniors and so on? Because we often hear about that you want to try to bring them together. Any of that come through?
Yeah, a little bit at our, especially at the in-person engagements that, don't separate the ages. Helps me stay young when I'm around young people. So we did hear some of those comments. But I think what Aloma said is everybody's looking for a little something different. So it's really to us to make sure we're meeting people where they are and making sure we're offering things in many formats and many places. So.
And lastly, will the events that you talked about that are coming up, can that be printed too, or can that be
Yes.
easily accessible so that at a glance they just know what's happening and so on?
Yes, we'll have a printable calendar, and it'll come with a detailed guide. So I have the one that hasn't been treated by the graphic designer yet, but that'll all be available at moncton.ca/seniors, and it'll, as I say, distributed to our partners, and it'll go out to our newsletter distribution list, which I think has well over 800 recipients now as well.
And I think the library will be a good asset as well, because people tend to go to the library to ask, so
Fabulous, yeah,
they can be.
fabulous partner.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much, merci.
Merci, conseiller Léger. Isabelle.
Merci, Madame la Mairesse. I just wanted to reiterate that we are certainly fully committed to continuing to talk to the community, continuing to talk to the seniors. This is the first step out of many. Ellen started her position at the end of November, and I think she's come a tremendous amount of way in a short period of time. And so through Aloma and the communications team, we are going to continue to improve, to put information out there. It's very fluid, and we're going to be able to pivot and hopefully meet the needs of the community.
Merci, Isabelle. Conseiller Richard.
Merci, Mairesse Thériault. Just to hop on to what Isabelle just said, you couldn't tell that she just started in November, so good job. Merci à Aloma puis Hélène. There's just a few places. Most common barriers, finding out about activities, common challenges for recreation organizations. We've heard all this, but were there any suggestions brought back from the respondents on any suggestions how to fix some of these? Was there?
In some, I guess, a little bit, like some people saying, I think it's some of the suggestions are things that might be out there, but we haven't done a great job of sharing. So, you should have this program. Well, that's actually available here, or things like that. So, you should have a newsletter. Well, we do have a newsletter, but now we're going to make it a little bit easier to sign up, and we'll increase the frequency and the accessibility to make it easier for people to follow along. But some of the other ones were like group outings for guided, like going out walking together. So, especially at the in-person sessions, that gave me an opportunity to, when people were giving kind of this feedback, I was able to say, oh, were you aware that there is the Greater Moncton Walking Club, or there's dedicated senior walking hours at the Crossman Community's indoor walking track every day, and different opportunities like that, so.
That's super. There's one page of the survey or the results, better promoting existing programming, Moncton.ca seniors newsletter, improved marketing tools, and community outreach. Might be early in the game. The last two bullets, improved marketing tools, community outreach. Do you already have something in mind? Is there anything that you can share with us that's more than what we're doing today?
Well, with the, for example, Seniors Month, we're going to use a number of different marketing strategies to promote that. So we won't just rely on Facebook or just rely on the website. We'll have newspaper ads, radio ads. We'll be doing email blasts. We'll be reaching out to partners, social media, of course. But we're really trying to use a little bit of all of the tools in the toolbox to kind of reach a little bit of everyone. So we will continue to do that. And I know that's a priority for the Seniors Advisory Committee as well, to make sure that our marketing tools are inclusive and that we're thinking of all seniors.
I'm extremely happy to hear that, because I don't have anything against Let's Chat. It's just that we have to go farther. That's all for people who are limited to access.
Mm-hmm.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci, conseiller Richard. Conseiller Crossman.
Thank you, Your Worship. Aloma, Ellen, and Monica, you've done an outstanding job since November on this. Councillor Bourgeois did mention that He sits on the Seniors Advisory Committee. So do I, and I'm really hoping that we can continue the great communication and back and forth that we've had on that, because I think that committee has really changed a lot since last fall. And the drive is to make sure that we're inclusive and that we listen to what seniors have to say. And I think that you both, all three of you have done that tremendously over the last 4 or 5 months. And you know, you're there at those meetings, and you know that the seniors are always thankful and they're always suggesting new ways forward. And some of the ways we've never even thought of, you know, that are coming from seniors in that committee. So it's very impressive to see. A couple of things that weren't mentioned, and I'll just quickly touch on them. You can confirm them or not. I do believe some members from the Seniors Committee are going to help out with Youth Fest as well. That's coming this week. And
Yes, Wednesday.
That's Wednesday, yeah. Thank you for that. And the same thing when, you know, when we have Seniors Day here, the youth come out and actually help them here in the City Hall. That's correct too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We hope
perfect.
to do more of that too.
Yeah, and we're going to do more of that. And I think there's one thing that we did get away from, and I brought this up a few times at the Seniors Committee. It's the senior-friendly city, right? And I think that's one thing that our committee, that committee is going to start to look at more and more. And can you explain that just a little bit, you know, the way forward that we're going to be doing this? Because it's very important that the businesses are involved, the community's involved, and there's certain recognitions too that come with that.
So if I understand correctly, the city was designated as a senior-friendly community by the province, and I believe it was either 2016 or 2017.
17.
So we are due to resubmit our application to continue that, I guess, but it hasn't been taken away yet. But so we'll be submitting that again. And another senior-friendly business initiative, or another senior-friendly initiative that the committee started was the senior-friendly business program. So that's something that we're looking to update and relaunch with the help of the committee. So the Seniors Advisory Committee will actually come and make a presentation to council on June 2nd. So they'll talk a little bit about some of the priorities for their committee as well, but those are certainly high on their radar.
Well, and again, I just want to say thank you, because I know that this has been a very difficult file, you know, that's been ongoing for a while, and I'm glad to see that we're transitioning the right way, and we now have you as a staff member on seniors and youth. And I think, you know, when I was first elected back in 2012, I remember walking into the Crosman Center and seeing the youth and the seniors, you know, shuffleboarding and walking and basketball and things along that line. And I think COVID has gotten us away from a lot of this partnership that we can do together, and I think that we can start to look at that again. And I really think it's going to be a great summer. From the committee's point of view, it seems like it's going to be a very active summer for the committee, because I know they want to be at a lot of the events that are going on throughout the city, and that's the beauty part. We're back to inclusion, right? So, and again, hats off to all three of you that are done an outstanding job on this, and I really hope that, you know, we can continue this. To Councillor Butler's point, you know what, the Seniors Advisory Committee hasn't come to council recently, so we're going to bring that forward and make sure that, you know, we're more forward and more open with what's going on that committee. So again, thank you all, and thank you, Madame Mayor. I appreciate it.
Merci, conseiller Crossman. Merci à vous. J'ai une petite question par rapport aux séries de conférences et présentations. Il y a tellement de conférences. Je pensais au Festival Fry. Donc, comment encourager, comment rejoindre les personnes âgées? Il y a des auteurs qui sont âgés, il y a des jeunes qui intéressent aussi les personnes âgées. Donc, est-ce qu'il y a des liens qui se font?
Oui, on a ajouté un lien pour le calendrier d'événements et festivals qui ont lieu en ville pendant toute l'année. Alors, on espère que les personnes vont être capables de découvrir ce qui se passe. Il y a aussi un brochure qui va être imprimée aussi pour lire aussi. Et aussi avec les événements pendant le mois de juin, avec le mois des années, on va souligner plusieurs des événements et festivals qui aura lieu parce qu'on a entendu de plusieurs personnes. J'entends seulement après les événements qu'ils ont passé en ville. Alors, j'aimerais savoir en avance. Alors, on essaie essayer d'améliorer ça aussi.
C'est beau. Merci beaucoup. Merci. Madame la greffière.
Oui, le prochain item, c'est une présentation, le rapport annuel du Comité de conservation du patrimoine, et Jean-Paul Charon et Linda Maillet sont ici pour faire la présentation.
Madame la mairesse, les conseillers,
Bonsoir.
bonjour. It is an honor to stand before you as the newly elected chair of the City of Moncton Heritage Board Committee. I want to begin to recognize the dedicated efforts of the board members for the past year. The commitment and passion have ensured that Moncton's rich heritage continues to be acknowledged, preserved, and celebrated. These people are just super, as you would know, Paulette. Our city's history is not only a source of pride, it is the foundation that helps shape our future. From conserving historic sites to promoting awareness of our cultural legacy, the board has worked tirelessly to keep heritage at the heart of the community's identity. As chair, I look forward to building on a strong foundation. Together, we will continue to advocate for thoughtful preservation, support community engagement, and ensure that Moncton's unique story, is shared and with future generations. Merci de votre confiance et le support que vous avez apporté au Comité du patrimoine. Je passe le micro à Jean-Pierre Charon qui va vous donner une présentation de notre rapport annuel. Merci.
Bonjour à
Bonsoir,
tous,
Jean-Pierre.
Madame la mairesse, membre du conseil municipal, Monsieur Serge Doucette. Bonjour. Je vais passer à travers rapidement le rapport annuel. Évidemment, le comité du patrimoine est fort occupé toute l'année avec des demandes constantes pour décision. Et puis, ça fait partie du rapport que je vais présenter. Donc, voici. Donc, les membres du comité se composent, c'est composé l'année passée du président Blaine Hogue. Paulette Thériault était avec nous, maintenant dans une fonction différente présentement. Linda Maillet, qui maintenant est la présidente du comité. Bradley Condham, Daniel Saint-Louis, Joseph Tippett, ou Joe Tippett, Françoise Grandmaison, Brian Branch et Shaheen Farr. C'est aussi important, it's important to note that there's numerous staff also that involve around the board. Bill Budd, our director that passed away this February, was with us, and he was really always supporting the heritage conservation file. It was great working with him. Unfortunately, he's not here anymore, but and last year we had also Andrew Smith that also left our department. So we're left with a bit of gaps there. But Lauren Campbell with Resurgo Place is instrumental. He knows he's a very knowledgeable person and very capable in all kinds of domains. Sophie Cormier, who is here tonight with us, is the Director of Culture and Heritage. Luc Babineau, Economic Development, Maeve Murphy with Communication Department, Sophie Toussaint, Building Inspection, and also Melissa Drisdel with Downtown Moncton Inc. So during the year, we delivered 28 municipal heritage permits. They were obviously for different type of preservation and restoration matters, like painting, re-roofing, and sign installation, for example. It's all controlled under the Heritage Conservation Bylaw. And also we have all these development obviously meet the requirements of the bylaw and also the standards and guidelines for the historic, for the conservation of historic places in Canada. During the year, the board managed to approve 11 heritage grant applications. We have images here that shows give samples of images of the properties in question. So 140 Church Street, for example, there's preservation work that was done. There's also the amount that they receive as a grant to help them out. 132 Mill Road, 86 Botsford Street, 89 Church Street, 56 Stedman Street, and that's the synagogue, 5961 Church Street, some preservation work on that building, 679 Main Street, the Higgins block, also did their phase number 2 of reporting and fixing the masonry stones, and 51 Church Street received $10,000 as a grant. Also, 177, 179 St. George Street was completely repainted, and it makes quite a difference. It was well overdue, and that's great to see this preservation work, and also some restoration. When we talk about restoration, it's for example, wood, replacement of rotten wood, for example, would be restoring the wood, for example. 18 Botsford Street, they did some preservation work to the building exterior, including the 2 wood doors fronting Botsford Street. And then finally, 43 Botsford Street. They worked also on the rose window fronting Botsford Street, which in heritage preservation was well overdue. I saw some images of before the work, and when the weather and water gets into the wood, it really, we need to take care of that. So that was done with the help of grants. Another component of the Heritage Board's function is to celebrate, promote, educate, and provide engagement opportunities about heritage resources. And the biggest instrument that we have since 5 years now is Heritage Week. It occurs in the fall of the year, and this past year was the 5th edition of Heritage Week, which during the week of October 6th. The program helped promote, educate, and promote engagement opportunities. And here, it's, il faut souligner que sans la participation de nombreuses personnes autour de cet événement au niveau des départements comme Risurgo, la place Risurgo, et puis le département de communication et développement économique aussi, tous ces apports de différents départements fait la chose possible. Et l'année passée aussi, on a eu beaucoup de support aussi d'Anton Moncton Centre-Ville, un apport vraiment critique, surtout à la remise des prix du patrimoine. Le 8 octobre s'est tenue la chasse au trésor, culture et patrimoine. Culture and Heritage Scavenger Hunt was organized by Risurgo Place, for example, and we saw 6 destinations were contemplated and provided interesting venues for the public to enjoy. So we have an example of 83 Victoria Street, 115 Queen Street, the Bricks Building, for example, and also the Flatiron Building, the Transcript Building, and also the Dominion Federal Building at the corner of Highfield and Main Street. So Heritage Week is also an opportunity to give some awards. And it was the 4th edition of award ceremony that was held on October the 9th. There were 4 preservation categories: preservation restoration, rehabilitation adaptive reuse, special recognition stewardship, and also the special recognition heritage trails tradespeople. Altogether, 5 awards were given. And I'll just go quickly here just to give an appreciation of the award ceremony that was held at the Centre Culturel Aberdeen. The master of ceremony was Kevin Siliker. It's here with us tonight, and it was fantastic to. He's a man of great talent, and it was really special. And the Mayoress Arnold was there also, and I think everybody had a great time. This space is wonderful. Centre Culturel Aberdeen is just perfect for this this type of activity and event. So it was really great to see. Just quickly, I'll just go and mention what the award recipients. Preservation and Restoration Award, l'Église catholique romaine Saint-Bernard's Roman Catholic Church received this award, and we can see here David Watts and Lou Cummings, chairman of the St. Bernard Building Committee, and we have an image, for example, of active preservation work on the rose window facing Botsford Street. In the Preservation and Restoration Award, we have here Anne Veriker that with her award in hand for the Oak House at 86 Botsford Street. And prix de la réfection et de la réutilisation adaptative du Downtown Moncton Centre-Ville a été remis à Nike Spa Salon, Sharon Kelly, pour le travail remarquable de préservation sur l'édifice qu'on connaît comme le Bon Accord Hotel Building ou bien le William S. Torrey House, par exemple, historiquement connu à ces noms-là. C'est le 48 Bon Accord. Probablement, la plupart des gens ont remarqué les travaux de préservation de l'édifice. Special Recognition Award, Heritage Tradespeople, went to Rice Contracting Limited. John Rice, Senior Advisor, is seen here with his award. This Rice Contracting Limited is quite remarkable in terms of talent that they have to in regards to heritage conservation. They go beyond the technical know-how, but they have suggestions, and they work with Lauren Campbell that gave me some detailed information about work for 2 examples of work they did for the city, the Free Meeting House and the Trades House in the city. So it's really important to to underline the importance of trades in the city. Most of the time, heritage buildings need some special skills, and this is really very important to underline that through an award and make that known. We have to keep our eyes open on the trades for the future. And also, finally, the Centre Culturel Aberdeen themselves were honored with, ont été remis le prix de reconnaissance spéciale Intendance. Intendance veut dire prendre soin d'un édifice au-delà de 10 ans ou plus. Si je faisais la liste de tous les travaux qu'ils ont accomplis sur l'édifice Aberdeen depuis que c'est devenu un centre culturel, la liste est impressionnante. Et aussi, ils sont très sensibles à faire des modifications extérieures, par exemple la terrasse qu'ils ont ajoutée sur la Botsford et aussi les escaliers qu'ils ont reconstruits sur la Botsford ont absolument rejoint les objectifs des normes et lignes directrices de la conservation du patrimoine canadien. Donc, ici, on peut voir M. Jean Surette recevant le prix. Et finalement, c'était la remise des plaques du patrimoine. 3 propriétaires ont été remis et une plaque, et les plaques ont été installées au 31 rue Church, 52 avenue Donald et 56 rue Stedman à Moncton. Another thing that was done it's linked to the functions and actions based on the Heritage Board strategic plan is an update of ITOR. And this was really accomplished by Resurgo Place. Lauren Campbell and Sophie Offray worked on this to improve it. They improved it, the capabilities of new technology, new phones, and added a few properties to the tour. So this is always something interesting, especially, most often with tourists that come to town and they want to know a little bit more about the downtown heritage buildings. So that was done during the year. Now, Heritage Doors Open is also a very popular activity during the year. It's been in place for many years now, and it's quite popular. It's people assist those, attend those areas, and in this past year we saw people visiting 86 Botsford Street, the Oak House building. So we can see on the images the outside and the inside of the buildings, and also again for as another innovative way to promote heritage, a selection of art students from the Mackenzie College Visual and Applied Art program visited all 3 Doors Open sites and displayed various types of artwork inspired by the place. And there were accounts of people, you see on the right side, it's not meant to be seen really, it's just a representation of a panel showing all the students' work. But among those work, people were asked to what's your preferred one? And the one that we see, the image there is just a representation of the we call the winner. I guess in art there's no winner per se, but it was the preferred drawing or preferred piece. So the same thing for the former Ancien Notre-Dame d'Acadie at 343 Université Avenue. This is a federally designated building, and we know it's being renovated to accommodate a new function soon. So it was an opportunity to have the public to get inside the building and see what it looked like. And it was fabulous. We can see on the image number 2 the interior of the old this old heritage building, and and again a piece of art inspired by the place by an artist. So that Higgins Block was also a destination at 679 Main Street, and again we have an art representation of a piece of hanging piece of metal, I guess. I'm not sure what it is, but it was great to have the students also involved in this. So just quickly, just a touch on the ongoing 5-year strategic plan of the Heritage Board. In last year, we did accomplish a number of things. We did review and update the board's communication plan with the support of Communication Department. This is in a full annual report. It's displayed there. It's more of a document to refer to and guide us and to take decision in terms of communication. The iTour, like I mentioned, was updated. The new interactive designated heritage property map I've also put in place. It's online currently. What's the benefit with this interactive map is that it gives a bit more information in terms of it goes a little beyond the static heritage map that's in the heritage bylaw, the heritage conservation bylaw. So this one has images and a brief description and location on the map. So it's kind of convenient for people to check that out. Another thing that was done last year was a fairly good update of all the statement of significances that are tagged to every designated heritage properties. So again, images were added, and some of the description of, for example, the character-defining elements were looked at again. As time passed, sometimes some elements of buildings might change with time. So that was looked at and corrected when needed, and so updated. So that's it's not something that's usually accessible to the public. It's more of a technical document but we do share this document to the property owner, obviously, because when they want to do some work, the objective is to keep the character-defining elements of the building. Okay, so. And we saw also some more media coverages. We saw some articles in l'Acadie Nouvelle, about heritage conservation in a general way. So it seems that it's interesting to see the medias being more and more, tapping into the subject. Il est important de garder l'information ouverte et la partager avec la ville. Je crois qu'il y a beaucoup de citoyens dans la ville qui se posent des questions par rapport au patrimoine bâti. Et puis, on fait notre possible pour les renseigner sur qu'est-ce qu'on protège et qu'est-ce qu'on peut-être on peut protéger encore davantage dans l'avenir. Alors, c'est ma présentation. Merci.
Merci, Jean-Pierre. Est-ce qu'il y a des questions? Je vois pas de questions, Jean-Pierre, mais merci pour le travail. Merci, Linda. Surtout le comité. Donc, vous faites du beau travail. Vraiment, merci beaucoup. Donc,
merci.
The next item is planning matters et questions d'urbanisme, and the first up today is a public hearing zoning bylaw amendment to McLaughlin Drive, and there were objections received, and I see Sarah Anderson is here to provide us an update.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is a rezoning application, a public hearing for 2 McLaughlin Drive. So it's an application to amend the permitted uses in the NC zone, which is neighborhood convenience, and it's located at 2 McLaughlin Drive, and that is in order to permit residential units on the main floor. So the subject property is located in the Sunnybrae area, and it's in Ward 1. So the property is located on the west side of the intersection of McLaughlin Drive and Elmwood Drive. This part of Sunnybrae has a very good mix of commercial and some medium-density residential uses. In terms of the surrounding uses, it's mainly zoned NC, this neighborhood convenience, but there's also some R2U, which is urban dwelling zone, some R2, 2-unit dwelling zone, and MU, which is the mixed-use zone. So here's a rendering of the proposed development. So the building is proposed to be 3 stories in height. It's proposed to have 10 residential units, including the 2 on the main floor. An office is also proposed to be located on the main floor with the main entrance facing the street and a walkway that connects the public sidewalk to that entrance. The siding is proposed to be fiber cement, wood, and red brick, all considered acceptable or traditional materials. So here is the site plan. You see here the driveway access coming in across the property to the south over a registered right-of-way. The parking lot has 13 stalls as well as a biking rack, which meets the requirements of the zoning bylaw. Fence is proposed around the perimeter of the site, and that's to screen the property and the parking area from the abutting residential uses. Trees and shrubs are also proposed around the site, including street trees along McLaughlin Drive. And you can also see the configuration of the building footprint, and you see that commercial component or that office component that kind of juts forward and is a bit closer to the sidewalk. It's kind of making it a little bit more prominent than the residential uses, which are kind of pushed back a little bit. We did receive 1 letter of objection. The responses to that objection were circulated, were sent back to the objector, and they were circulated to all members of City Council. The main points of the objection related to, there were 4 of them. One was the use of the right-of-way, the second being the integrity of the NC zone, the third being the site design that reduced the visibility and creating safety hazards for those using the right-of-way, and the fourth was impacts on the aesthetics of the heritage property next door. So I'll go over those sort of briefly in an overview. So the first being the objection to the use of the right-of-way, being legal and operational concerns regarding that right-of-way. So there is a registered right-of-way across the property at 3 Cross Street. This agreement was signed with the applicant and the objector in 2017. It imposes no limitations on the use of the right-of-way, and it's not intended to be used as a parking area. So there is sufficient parking in the parking lot, so there should be no impacts to the 2 abutting properties to that right-of-way. Since receiving the objection, the applicant has met several times with the objector to work out the logistics around the use and the maintenance of that right-of-way. They are currently working through their lawyers on a formal agreement for the maintenance of that right-of-way, so that that issue has been resolved. The next objection being the concern over the integrity of the NC zone, that it would set a precedent by altering the purpose of the NC zone. So the purpose of the NC zone is to meet the needs of the local residents by ensuring the proposed developments integrate well with the neighborhood, as well as minimize conflicts with surrounding uses. The intent is to have a neighborhood convenience located in a neighborhood. The fact that residential uses aren't currently permitted on the ground floor does mean that barrier-free units aren't allowed on the main floor. And that's the intent and the purpose of this application, is to make sure that barrier-free residents can live in this development, which ultimately does meet the needs of the local community. The third objection was that the site design reduces the visibility and creates safety hazards for those using the right-of-way. So, the proposed development is infilling a very difficult lot with safety risks associated with providing a new driveway onto McLaughlin Drive. The use of this right-of-way is the only way that this lot will develop. The proposed development provides for only 10 residential units and an office. This part of the city is desirable for its amenities and its walkability, and this is an ideal location for an infill development such as this one. The last objection was to the impacts of the aesthetics of the heritage property next door. And the response to that is the applicants have hired a designer who will, if the application is approved, enhance the exterior design of the proposed building by addressing some of the historical elements of the character of the neighborhood in the final design. So just to continue on, these are some elevation drawings. This just gives a view of the other sides of the building. So in terms of a recommendation, it is recommended that Moncton City Council approve zoning bylaw amendment Z222.45 and Schedule A45 for the property located at 2 McLaughlin Drive, subject to a resolution with a number of conditions which are included in the report, and I'm happy to go through those if anyone is interested. And that is...
Merci, Sarah. So I'll just remind everyone, this is a public hearing, so we have a process to follow. So I believe the next person or the next up would be the applicants or the developers, if they want to speak, and to tell us why you want this project to move forward. You don't have to, but you can if you wish.
I don't have any further comments at the moment.
Could you come to the mic, please?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Eric. I'm the applicant in this case. I don't think I have anything further to add at the moment. I think Sarah went through fairly detailed of the process, but if anyone has any questions or concerns, I would be here to hopefully assist or try to answer those questions.
Thank you. So do we have other proponents who support the project who would like to speak? We don't. So now we move to ceux qui s'opposent au projet, objectors. Do we have anyone here who's opposed to the project? No? Donc ça va trop vite ce soir, Sarah. I'm not used to this. So now we can move, I believe, to the members of council for questions. So I will open it to, I believe, Councillor Crossman.
Thank you, Your Worship. Sarah, thanks for the presentation. Truly appreciate it. Whereas it's a public hearing, my only question that I had the evening that this came forward before it went to the public hearing was the fact on that right away. And it seems to be in the CRF. I've read it all twice, and I completely understand it, but I just want to make sure, even tonight when you said it at the mic, this is a contract that is currently being negotiated for full access to use that right away so that this development is accessible for the builder and the residents that will be in it. Is that correct?
The right-of-way already exists.
Yes.
It was
From
registered in 2017.
17.
So the use of the right-of-way is established, it is registered, so it's good. What the owner is working on now is just maintenance. So who's going to clear it of snow, who's going to maintain it? That's what's being
Okay.
dealt with right now.
And our local fire department has no issue with the width of that right-of-way, everything along that to access. I know the area well enough that if something does happen, they can come off of Elmwood, but long story short, I'd rather see them use the right-of-way, so I'm just curious to know that that was approved by them as well.
Yeah, it is 7 meters wide, so
Okay.
that's certainly wide enough. I think the smallest they can go is 3 or 5 even, so 7 is good.
Okay, because that land is challenged. I know that we have had traffic studies done in the past where we need to decide on that island eventually and what's going to happen there and things along that line to improve traffic flow. So I'm glad to see that you found another way out. Those are my only questions for now, so I'll see how council goes, but I'd probably move the recommendation when it comes around. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Councillor Crossman. Any other questions from council? If not, I will declare the public hearing closed. We have a motion, so could I have, someone else wants to speak?
Councillor Crossman said he would move it.
Do you wish to move the recommendation? Okay, moved by Councillor Crossman, seconded by Councillor Leblanc. So do we do electronic? Any questions on the motion? There are no questions, so do we go with show of hands?
No, electronic.
No, electronic, okay, c'est bon. So it is unanimous in favor. Merci. Thank you, everyone.
We had postponed item 7.2, public hearing zoning bylaw amendments 1430, 1450 Elmwood Drive. That will come back to the next public meeting of May 20th. Next would be statements of council, les exposés des membres du conseil.
Est-ce qu'il y a des exposés des membres du conseil? Non, non, il n'y a rien ce soir. Merci. Madame la greffière.
Oups, conseiller Légère.
Je m'excuse, conseiller.
Non, ça va. Merci, merci, Madame la mairesse. Je veux juste peut-être signaler pour le futur quelque chose que notre municipalité, puis peut-être même avec la province du Nouveau-Brunswick et peut-être même la commission, si on regarde aux alentours maintenant, il y a un extrême montant de déchets dans nos voies ferrées et aux alentours de notre ville, beaucoup plus que dans les années précédentes. I was pretty astounded that perhaps it is that spring has come earlier this year, but there seems to be an enormous amount of garbage between Wheeler Boulevard, Home Depot, Trinity, Elmwood area, and so on. And I'm wondering if we, as a municipality, could perhaps have a strategy in the new year, maybe in 2026, where all of us together with the province and with the Regional Service Commission maybe find a way to create a collection of this litter. Relying on volunteers, I don't think is going to bring us the results we want anymore. There's so much of it. And even just looking at, the risks associated with stepping off and going into on the side of Wheeler Boulevard, or even, in our regular areas around the city. So I want to just put that out there, perhaps through the city manager, and maybe there could be some type of initiative. Because I know as the season progresses and the grass grows, we're going to be in a situation where we won't see it anymore. And the only time we'll see it is when most of the highways are mowed in the summer, and they'll just mow all that trash. And it really is something that is very noticeable, and I think that the time has come to try to figure out some strategies. So I think, collectively we need to work together, but I have found this year particularly sad to see so much litter. and we don't see the numbers of volunteers like we did before. So I just want to put that out there, and for all of those people who have volunteered already and picked up trash, I think that's great. I do that myself, and hopefully others can chip in. I don't think we'll get all of it picked up this year, but at least let's begin to think about the years in the future. So, merci. Thank you.
Conseiller Léger, Serge.
Merci, Conseiller Léger. I think it's something that administration has also noticed, and we've had conversations. We're looking into the matter.
Merci. Madame la greffière.
Next are reports from and recommendations from committees and private sessions of council, rapports et recommandations des comités et réunions à huis clos. And this evening, there is one recommendation coming out of the Committee of the Whole of April 28th. Moncton City Council, at its Committee of the Whole meeting of April 28th, 2025, is recommending the following: that Moncton City Council approve the updated Urban Work Area Traffic Control Manual supplement.
Merci, Madame la greffière. Conseiller Richard, do you wish to move? Conseiller Kingston seconded. Other questions on this? Il n'y en a pas, so we will go to the vote. Oh, excusez-moi. Au conseiller Bourgeois.
Merci, Madame la maire. J'ai une question pour René. Lors de la discussion du comité, j'avais une question, puis je ne me souvenais pas de quelle mention, mais it's section 2.7, personal protective equipment. And the second half of the paragraph says, WorkSafe New Brunswick has recommended that the Canada Standards Association standard CSA-Z96-09 for high visibility safety apparel be adopted for New Brunswick. This standard provides more detail on acceptable safety apparel for workers than the OHSA, the Occupational Health and Safety Act regulations, and is recommended by the Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety. And then it adds the municipality can prescribe the CSA standard for construction zone personnel in their jurisdiction if worker visibility is a concern. And my question is, should we prescribe it here?
Can you push the button? Justin.
Testing.
There
it
you go.
works. Thank you for the question. To be honest with you, without having kind of like the document and that level of details in front of me, and not having my colleagues here who worked on the document, I would not be in a position to give you an honest answer. I would suggest that if this is something that can be responded after the fact via email, we can certainly do that. If that is justification enough to postpone the item, I would have no choice but to do so.
It's there, but it says sort of that we can if we wanted to. But we're taking the existing manual, and we as a city are adapting it because we have special needs, urban area and all that stuff.
Correct.
You are asking us to adopt it, so I have no problem in adopting it, but could you look into whether or not we should modify it maybe a month or so into the season, that this should be the standard that we respect, because we're sort of in limbo waiting for a provincial standard, so why not use the national standard instead?
Yeah, we can definitely bring this back to the team and confirm to you and to council as well on that particular wording of that particular clause. Yes.
Parfait. Merci, merci, Madame la Maire.
Merci, Conseiller Bourgeois. No other question. So on the question, electronic vote. So in favor.
Councillor Butler is absent for the vote.
So it's unanimous then. Merci, Madame la greffière.
Next is report from administration, the rapport de l'administration, and there are three this evening. The first one is city contract number W25D04BC, street resurfacing number 2. The motion before council is that city contract number W25D04BC, street reconstruction number 2, be awarded to McDonald Paving and Construction in the amount of $3,350,077.65, including HST, and that the budget for the project be set at $3,250,000, including net HST, engineering and contingency. It is also recommended that a contract be drafted and the mayor and the city clerk be authorized to sign said contract and affix the corporate seal of the city of Moncton thereto.
Merci, Madame la greffière. Could I have a mover and a second? Conseiller Léger, Conseiller Steves, seconded. Any questions? There are no questions, then we will go to the vote. So it is unanimous in favor.
And
Merci.
again, Councillor Butler is not present for the vote. Number 2 is city contract W25C01AB, street reconstruction number 1. The motion before council this evening is that city contract number W25C01AB, street reconstruction number 1, be awarded to Fulam Construction Limited in the amount of $5,800,945, including HST, and that the budget for the project be set at $5,700,000, including net HST and engineering contingency. It is also recommended that the contract be drafted and that the mayor and the city clerk be authorized to sign said contract and affix the corporate seal of the city of Moncton.
Merci, Madame la greffière. Conseiller Richard, you wish to move? Could I have a seconder? Conseiller Crossman or Conseiller Bourgeois, do you wish to second this? Okay, Conseiller Bourgeois. So do we have questions, so donc, Conseiller Crossman.
Thank you, Your Worship. Appreciate it. Renee, thank you for the presentation, and the work in this area is close to the East End Pool. So I just want to make sure that as I looked at the CRF, it said it starts in June, running till November-ish. Want to make sure that we're still going to have access to and from the pool for the youth and the seniors that need to access the area?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Councillor Crossman. It's definitely a tight space to work in, and we're basically affecting all the streets. However, there will not be affected at the same time.
Okay.
Usually when we start with a storm sewer relief system, we start at the downstream end and work our way up. So in this case, we work close to the storm sewer basin that was installed 2 years ago. So we will have access through Fergus Street, and when Fergus Street is blocked, have access through Spur Street. So again, the idea is to make sure there is ways around accessing the parking lot in the area, either through Fergus or Spur, which is what we ended up doing when we built the basin I mentioned.
Good, good. And thank you for that basin, because I know that engineering is behind it. Elaine, I know you worked on it as well as Mayor Theriault and myself for the ward representatives, and it has done tremendous work for the area, and it looks great. So, in the trail system that's there as well. So,
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Crossman. Conseiller Bourgeois.
Merci, Madame la maire. Question, je ne suis pas sûr si c'est René ou à Jacques, mais c'est pas spécifique à celui-ci, mais je remarque qu'il y a une grosse différence à notre avantage entre l'estimé de l'ingénieur ou l'ingénieuse, l'ingénieure, et le coût. Quasiment 10% de moins que ce qu'on avait estimé. Il y a 3-4 ans, en plein milieu de COVID, c'était des 10% au-dessus. C'était régulièrement bien au-delà de nos estimés, puis on était obligé de soit couper des coins. Est-ce qu'on est stabilisé cette heure? Est-ce qu'on regarde celui-ci, mais les 10 derniers aussi, là, soumission sur différents projets de construction, réménagement de rues, eau, égouts, infrastructure de base? Est-ce qu'on est rétabli? Est-ce que c'est plus normal?
Je peux répondre à la question, Jacques, si ça ne dérange pas. Du point de vue ingénierie, en tout cas, qu'est-ce qui arrive, c'est qu'à chaque année, à la suite d'une année de soumission, nous, on va réajuster nos prix pour l'année subséquente lorsqu'on fait les estimés des ingénieurs, que ce soit nous ou les consultants. tout le monde dans l'industrie font ça, pour s'assurer que l'année prochaine, on peut planifier les travaux en conséquence, puis à savoir si on a assez d'argent pour les budgets. Donc, on voit cette augmentation-là, puis ici, ça montre que l'ingénieur, oui, a peut-être mis un peu plus de contingence, un peu plus, disons, un peu plus on the safe side, si je peux me permettre l'expression. Mais par contre, si on veut regarder l'escalation des prix, il faut comparer les prix unitaires des années, disons, 5 ans passés jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Puis nos chiffres nous montrent que dans les derniers 5 ans, les prix ont quasiment doublé au niveau de l'asphalte, du béton, les tuyaux, tout ce qu'on retrouve, disons, dans notre voirie, si vous voulez. Donc, ça peut regarder comme si c'est positif, mais ce n'est pas nécessairement positif lorsqu'on regarde vraiment les dernières années. En termes de stabilité, si je peux comparer, disons, de l'année dernière, je dirais que jusqu'à présent, il n'y a pas eu une très grosse augmentation de 2024 à 2025, comparativement à certains sauts qu'on a vus, disons, de 2020, 21, 21, 22, etc.
Super. Merci beaucoup. Merci, Madame la maire.
Merci, conseiller Bourgeois. No other question, then we move to the vote. So the vote is unanimous in favor. Merci.
Next is a 10.3 procedural bylaw, mayor, deputy mayor. It was a motion brought forth to the floor last meeting by Councillor Bourgeois, and I believe that our city solicitor is going to speak to administration's reply.
Thank you, City Clerk. So we have the council report form here that was prepared by administration in response to Councillor Bourgeois' notice of motion. As with our regular practice, the recommendation in the CRF is the motion put forward by Councillor Bourgeois. However, if you go through the CRF, you'll see that that's not administration's recommendation. Our recommendation, I guess, essentially would be the first alternative, which would be to maintain the status quo. So in the CRF, we've kind of reviewed the elements of Councillor Bourgeois' motion, and in our view, and we did confirm this with the Department of Environment and Local Government, our current procedural bylaw does not require any amendments to deal with the situation that we recently found ourselves in when the previous mayor resigned her seat. The Local Governance Act provides that, well, it provides what happens when the mayor's seat is vacant, that the deputy mayor steps in to that role. It doesn't prescribe certain time limits for that. So even though we are faced with an extended period of a vacancy because her resignation occurred just after the deadline for a by-election, so the seat is technically vacant until the next general election, which will be May 2026. That's a bit of a unique situation for Moncton. It's not unheard of that a mayor's seat could be vacant for that extended period, and the Local Governance Act doesn't differentiate. It doesn't provide different processes. It just says when the mayor's seat is vacant, this is what happens. So, in our view, breaking down the different parts of that motion, most of them are either already dealt with in our bylaws. For example, dealing with the salary of the deputy mayor when acting in place of the mayor, or certain parts of it are problematic. For example, having council elect a mayor. The act prescribes that council can elect a deputy mayor, but council does not have the authority to elect a mayor. That doesn't limit how you want to refer to the mayor or acting mayor or deputy mayor in a meeting. It just means that we can't officially have council elect a mayor, and we couldn't amend our bylaw in that way. So I think that's all I really wanted to say. Councillor Bourgeois can speak to his motion, or I'm happy to take any questions anyone may have.
Merci, Nick. I have Councillor Bourgeois. Did you want to speak on this now? I do have Conseiller Léger who wants to ask a question. So we'll go to Conseiller Bourgeois.
Merci, Madame la Maire. Merci, Conseiller Léger. Merci beaucoup, Nick. Outstanding work. I appreciate it. When Councillor Butler and I sat down and tried to figure out what happens now, it wasn't clear to us what is going to happen. So we tried to come up with solutions, not our greatest, I'll take the blame for it, not the greatest wording or wordsmithing of this motion. The reaction you gave us, beautiful. I appreciate it. Bang on most of these things. I would say even 50, 60% would be sort of withdrawn from consideration. But I'm not sure I agree with you 100% on some of these things, and I'll just give one example about the salary. I know that previous Mayor Arnold was making, my guess is about $95,000, I'm not sure, per year. And when we had our first discussion on this after my motion, you said, well, our CFO has figured out a way to pay her on a per daily basis if she does perform. It's not, first of all, for staff to decide how to pay the mayor. It's a council decision. So no offense to, you could have come up to the exact same thing, but it wasn't clear that Councillor Thériault, once she wears the hat of mayor for the next year and a half, should be paid whatever it is the mayor. But there's nothing, there's no guideline, there's no specification on it. So in 20 years from now, I'm not going to be here, you're not going to be here, Jacques is not going to be here, maybe, but probably not. None of us are going to be here. So if ever this very rare 1-in-100-year event happens again, they'll have to start from scratch and calling Fredericton to see, well, is this what we're supposed to do? And so it's not clear. There's still about half a dozen little things, minor things, to make sure that it's on paper so that we know. And the only regret that I have, and it's not a regret, but I'll say it with all due respect to Councillor Thériault, who I just adore, and I have no concerns about being mayor. But if I had known a year ago in May that whoever I was voting for as deputy mayor would, according to the legislation, become mayor if ever Mayor Arnold at the time was not going to be resigning within the time frame to enable a by-election, I'm not sure how I would have voted. So we have to do things, we have to formalize things, we might have to change, maybe not, but it has to be clearer than what it was this time. And again, it's a 1-in-100-year event, so in essence, what I'm proposing is that I will withdraw the motion, and then we'll tackle at a committee of the whole meeting, maybe, what policies, what modifications, and it may be just a letter to the province saying, you guys and girls clarify this because it's not really clear to us, or we disagree with the way that you propose that we do, and we would like the legislation or regulations changed to do this instead of that. So I will withdraw it if Councillor Butler agrees to withdraw it as well, but on condition that we tackle it at a future committee of the whole. The last point is we had to rush it because we wanted this in place for the election of the deputy mayor in 2 weeks' time. So this is why it's on the agenda and it was rushed and everything else. But now that it's too late to do that, we'll do it the old-fashioned way, whatever the department says we have to do, we'll do it. But maybe over the next year or so, tackle the issues in order to prevent this scenario, the lack of clarification on some commas next time around. Merci, Madame la Maire.
Merci, Conseiller Bourgeois. Conseiller Léger.
Oh, merci. So on that note, then, are we suggesting that we go to the alternative and the council continue to apply the existing bylaw provisions regarding the election of deputy mayor in accordance with the Local Governments Act in the circumstances where the office of the mayor becomes vacant? after the deadline for a by-election.
So you're
So
moving
moved.
that motion, Conseiller Desjardins, seconded by Conseiller Kingston. Are we okay? Yeah? So any other questions? Oh, Conseiller Bourgeois.
Sure, as long as, I said the condition was that we would tackle it at a committee of the whole meeting. There are some of these elements that I don't agree with, so I have no problem not having a long debate about it on council, but I think we should cut them up into 4 or 5 little chunks and determine if council wants to modify or not our bylaws or send a letter to the province or whatever it is, but I'll remove it from today. So I'm okay with one as long as, and if you want me to make an amendment, but.
Merci, Conseiller Bourgeois. Nick, would you like to respond?
Yeah, so we will be bringing the procedural bylaw to council in the coming months for review. And so a lot of these elements fall under the procedural bylaw. So certainly you could bring it up in those discussions.
Thank you, Nick. So we have a mover and a seconder. Any other questions? Any more questions? No. So we go to the vote. So is this electronic? Oui? So the vote is unanimous in favor of the motion. Merci.
Next are reading of bylaws, et lecture des arrêtés municipaux, and there's one this evening. It's a bylaw, and I need to have permission for second reading. And it's a. Yeah.
Donc, second reading, is this second
This
or
is
third?
for 2 McLaughlin.
So is this third reading or?
No, it's a second reading.
Second reading, okay. Go ahead.
I need a mover and a seconder.
Okay, so could I have a mover and a seconder for this?
Butler.
Conseiller Léger, Conseiller Leblanc.
Charles Leblanc. Okay. A bylaw and amend, we need not an electronic vote, but a manual vote. We need a manual vote.
We're going to raise our hands?
Yes.
Okay.
For
C'est beau.
second reading.
Donc, any questions on this? If not, we can vote. C'est beau.
Okay.
On lève la main. Merci.
Merci. And we note that Councillor Crossman is not in the room. A bylaw and amendment of a bylaw relating to the adoption of the City of Moncton zoning bylaw being bylaw Z 222.45, 2 McLaughlin Drive. This is a second reading. Arrêté portant modification de l'arrêté concernant l'adoption de l'arrêté de zonage de la Ville de Moncton sur l'arrêté Z 222.45, 2 Promenade McLaughlin. C'est la deuxième lecture. I will need third reading. A mover and a seconder.
Conseiller Richard and Conseiller Leblanc.
Okay.
C'est beau.
And I'll need an electronic vote on this one. Okay. And to be noted.
See, it's a unanimous vote. Councillor Crossman is absent.
Yes. A bylaw and amendment of a bylaw relating to the adoption of the City of Moncton zoning bylaw being bylaw Z 222.45, 2 McLaughlin Drive. This is a third reading. Arrêté portant modification de l'arrêté concernant l'adoption de l'arrêté de zonage de la Ville de Moncton, soit l'arrêté Z 222.45, 2 Promenade McLaughlin. C'est la troisième lecture. And 11.2 will not be given second and third reading. It'll be done on May 20th. Next are notice of motions and resolutions, avis de motion et de résolution. And the first is a notice of motion for procedural bylaw avec conseiller Bourgeois. Je vais donner la parole.
Since we are going to be reviewing the procedural motion, this was unknown to me when I sent this to Shelley, so I will also remove this one, and we will consider it whenever we review the procedural bylaw. Merci beaucoup, Madame la Maire.
Merci, Conseiller Bourgeois. That is.
No. I have a resolution appointment of building inspector for Carolyn Roy. Now therefore be it resolved that Carolyn Roy, building inspector, is hereby authorized and appointed to act for and on council's behalf pursuant to acts, regulations, bylaws referenced above referenced in the motion to conduct inspections for the purpose of administering or enforcing applicable acts, regulations, and bylaws referenced above. Be it further resolved that Carolyn Roy, Building Inspector, is hereby authorized and appointed to act for and on council's behalf pursuant to the acts, regulations, and bylaws referenced above in the motion, to issue notices, demands, or orders and lay informations with the Provincial Court of New Brunswick to ensure compliance with acts, regulations, and bylaws referenced in the motion.
You need
A mover and a
I
second.
need a mover and a seconder for this. Conseiller Jean and Conseiller Richard.
And an electronic vote. There you go.
The vote is unanimous in favor. Merci. Conseiller Richard, vous voulez clore la réunion? Oui, s'il vous plaît. C'est beau. Merci. Merci. Merci à tous. Comment?